I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Start with the roll call.
Good morning. Donna Mosier, Eileen Dunn,
Here.
Larry Skolsky,
Here.
Rick Agler,
Here.
Brenda Owens, Barry Burgess,
Here.
Lemaine Eifert, Ed Wayman.
Here. Proof of notice.
Yes, Ed, as per your documents, a Florida statute notice was posted.
Okay. Disposition of prior meetings. Prior meeting minutes. I move for approval. Have a second. I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Yeah. Treasurer's report.
I have submitted a written treasurer's report. The only I'll mention about that, Mike, is that I'll use the mic.
They give it to you, board.
The only difference there's no difference from my report. An explanation is down where it says delinquencies. There are delinquencies, and they total out to $74,393.77. Not a big change from the prior month. This is an area we're looking into more, and at this point, we do not break it down automatically. Other than that,
The motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I have a question first.
Good question.
Why is there nothing about the, maybe there is.
yeah, here
You hear me now?
Yeah.
This one's different. On the, we don't have anything listed on the delinquency fines and delinquencies at the attorney. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, that's what I just explained, that we don't break it down and that the total delinquencies is $74,393. We don't break it down between the two. At the moment, we don't think it's needed.
Do we get that information from the two attorneys?
Indirectly, we have to go look through and do it. But, you know, if you notice, it's about, what is it, less than $100 change from last month, the whole total.
Okay, so
We
they
didn't think it was significant.
Okay. And the money market
Oh, yeah.
was 50,000 last month, and this month we're 43,765. Where's the money go from the money market?
Well, of course, we've had some items. I'd have to ask John, because I do remember that some of the money coming out was going for the pool. If you look at this is figures as of April 30th. So the draw of the changes out of the reserves came, you know, to take care of our pool repairs. I do believe we looked in that around 30,000. What was that, John? I did.
Is that what you do with the money?
Eileen, I think to answer your question, you'd have to look at the entire financial statement and bring your calculator.
So you're saying that we had to move some money from the reserve account into the pool account?
Well, when the money market drops like that, I'm assuming I'm not sure if that's I don't have the financial statement in front of me, but I don't know if that's an operating or a reserve money market. If it's a reserve money market, then monies would have came out of the money market into a checking account to pay an expense. If it's an operating money market, same answer.
Thank you.
Either the assistant treasurer and I both reviewed the items, and of course, John does. And this is a proper expenditure out of the reserves, and of course, when the reserves, they have an even figure going into the reserves every month. Through the budget, what we budget, and we take it out of the income for the month, and we put it into the reserves, an even figure every month. What goes out of the reserves depends on what we expend, which is properly charged to reserve instead of operating. Okay.
Motion in order to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Manager's report.
So Bob Higginschmidt, the engineer that's dealing with our seawall project and the drainage project, both of those plans have been submitted. We have copies of the plans in the office. Both of those projects, he has met with contractors on site to provide us with bids. I think my last conversation with him, we had about 3 contractors interested in the seawall and about 5 interested in the drainage project. So hopefully, I would say within the next month or so, we may have some bids being submitted. The bocce court, I had a conversation with the contractor about 2 weeks ago, and he's hopeful to do that project in late June or early July. The Spectrum and Blue Stream issue is going to be talked about probably later on the agenda. We have a town hall meeting set up with Blue Stream to discuss their product. Three Seasons, the landscaping company that services Timber Oak, the common areas in Timber Oaks, has submitted a rate increase and a contract renewal. That's attached to the manager report if we would like to discuss that during today's meeting. We still have a jet problem on the spa. We've issued work orders for that. Our pool contractor is having staff issues, so it's delaying their response. We call them about every 3 days to give them a nudge on that problem. Maintenance staff is focusing on landscaping, general cleanup. Today, we are watching the forecast for the storm for this weekend at this time. We're just expecting, it's kind of a normal weekend forecast for this time of year, so the door to the pool in the clubhouse is going to stay sandbagged, and we're going to look at it again this afternoon to see if anything additional. We'll watch it through the weekend. If necessary, we'll come in and do what's needed. We're not expecting that to be a problem. Violations for the month of May, total 198. New violations 133, and there were 58 resolved. I got 2 more things that aren't on the manager's report, but just points of interest. One, Rick, I think I don't know if Debbie's told you, but I know I've forgotten to tell you. For the pool project where we had to drain the pool, we were able to negotiate a discount with Pasco County on that bill for refilling the water. It's not as much as we were trying to get, but it'll be helpful. And something else. So just in general, the staff, myself, Debbie, Darlene, we come to work at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, the maintenance guys have backpack blowers and they're blowing the parking lots. Also at 8 o'clock, it's the beginning of tennis on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If anybody in this room is a tennis player, or if you know the tennis players, please ask them to be aware that we're pedestrians and some of us can't hear the traffic, and some of them were a little quick with the gas pedal.
In those lines, I know when you're using the blowers, I always insisted, and I think it's still carried on, that they wear earplugs. I think it's required by the government agency. OSHA. And so, especially if you're coming in and one of these employees they don't hear you coming in with the car.
We just appreciate more than 6 inches of clearance between our elbow and your bumper.
On the Seasons contract, did you look at any others?
We have not put that out to bid recently.
Any reason?
We just got this renewal a few days ago, so it hasn't been brought up.
When is this one up?
It has no expiration date. It's basically month to month, year to year right now. The first summer that I was here, which was 2 summers ago, I did try to put it out to bid. I sent it out to several landscapers, some small, some large. I didn't receive one written bid back. And I think it's, it's staff and COVID related, and I think we'll have the same problem now, maybe worse. But I did try 2 summers ago and I had no luck.
Probably not enough people to do the job.
You want to discuss that now?
Why not?
Okay, so
I recall this isn't up till September, the last time the previous board had looked at this.
To the best of my memory, there's no expiration date on the contract. It's open-ended.
Well, it's kind of an open-ended thing. I think we looked at it back in September, like 2 or 3 years ago.
So John, can you just kind of review what they're asking for in their new proposal?
So just to paraphrase, they've been servicing the property since 2011. They've been under contract since 2011. That's when his contract was originally executed. There has been no renewal. It just rolls over on an annual basis. He is asking for the monthly amount to go from $4,075 to $4,513. That would change the annual amount from $48,900 to $54,165. And he lists some reasons, 11 years without an increase, staffing issues, fuel prices, etc. Insurance.
Any other board discussion?
Yeah, the only thing I was concerned about here is he's got a thing in here about the gas going up. They don't have anything about it. What if the prices go down in future years? It'll lower it.
It's only a 1-year contract.
You know what I mean? He says that if it goes up, he'll increase his price. We don't have anything about if it goes down.
Well, he has been under contract for 11 years, and this is the only increase that we've received. And there's been some fuel fluctuation in the last 11 years. Got a track record of.
I don't think it's unreasonable because for years he did not raise his prices.
Also, we've seen minimum wage go up in that period of time, along with all other costs. So I think this is probably a reasonable increase. Do we want to put it out for bids, or do we want to just accept this as written?
I don't know if you can hear me. I think it wouldn't hurt to bid it out. I think in spending $50,000, $55,000, good competition might help us reduce that. I think it's something that we might want to look into.
Well, if we do that, and we can do that, we need to consider that we might not get any, because last time we put it out for bids, we didn't get any other bids.
Right, but that was a few years ago, and we've had the same vendor for 11 years now. And I think good healthy competition, at least we know if we're getting a good deal or not.
All right. Any other comment? Any comments from the residents? Go ahead, Rick.
But no, my packet doesn't have anything about that I can find.
It's attached to the manager's report.
I didn't get a manager's report, so I taken the one off. But I don't feel like I'm ready to make a decision on that. I do like the idea of Larry, or at least we get an indication, is there a bidding out there? And I'm also feeling that we probably do need to expect and not be shocked by this person asking for an increase. Because like you say, I mean, what do you see them riding? They're riding mowers. They're using gas. And one of the most inefficient gas engines around is a lawnmower. They're doing that. And of course, they're getting here. And also, I don't want to say these are minimum wage workers, but they're on the lower end of the hiring scale. And that's the end that has been coming up. And I don't find this unexpected at all. And I would not be surprised that we end up, accepting some increase here. But I don't think I'm ready today to vote on that.
Patty?
Tricia French, Weislick, 13806-7024. Little bit of history. In 2011, everything went out to bid. And a contract was given to another landscaper. It was a disaster. They broke things. They ran the mowers into all kinds of stuff. And after about 3 months, we ended up terminating that contract. And then we went back to 3 seasons. And we really don't have many complaints about them. And they do the work in a way that we like, as opposed to doing, other people will say, well, I'm just going to do this and skimp on a corner and things like that. So you need to be aware of it. And yes, this is a long-term contract, but every time we've tried to go out and try somebody else, it ended up, we go back to 3 seasons.
Thank you. Any other comments? Barry?
Well, personally, I think in light of the way gas is going, I don't think the $500 is asking a lot for an increase. So I would suggest we just take it and run.
That's five. That's $500 a month, so that's $6,000 for the year. I haven't had a chance. Somehow I missed the manager report in my packet. I picked up a copy back there, and I read the manager's report, but I didn't have what attached for the third thing. I have not seen it. I have no idea how it affects our budget, which we've already had a budget settled for that year. That does not restrict us, and I suspect that this will be all right, but I don't like to go on suspections or whatever, assumptions. And I would like to, at this point, as long as we're not, I don't think this is an emergency thing request, but ask to table this for the next meeting.
Well, it is a month-to-month basically contract, so we'll continue right until, John?
Yeah, so when we received this, Ed was in the office, we called the contractor and he was agreeable to charging us the new rate month to month until we go through. We anticipated a bidding process, so he is okay with charging us the new rate on a month to month basis until Rose makes up their mind. Yeah, and I will, to touch on what Patty said, most of the people that would bid on this job, the local contractors, local mid-sized to large contractors, all of the condo associations are playing musical contractors with those contractors for the same reason that Patty mentioned. So it is a little bit of Russian roulette.
I'll alter my motion. I'll make a motion that we accept temporarily the new rate and continue with this contractor temporarily. Meanwhile, looking into on a month to month and look into possible bidding and bring this up at a future time.
Do I have a second? Good. Larry, did you have any other comments?
Yeah, I just continue to feel that doesn't hurt, doesn't cost anything, doesn't hurt to go out there and see what's out there. It's a yay or a nay. I just feel if you just don't have another bid, you don't have anything else to go by, you just assume. I'm not talking about the increases. Obviously, things go up, things cost more. It's not the issue. The issue is I'd like to see something that I could compare to.
Okay, so the motion is we will put it out for bids, but we'll continue.
Continue with this contractor and he is billing us at the rate, we've got to pay that rate. But I agree with Larry. So Yeah, that is my motion to put it out for bid. But meanwhile, continue with our contractor at the new rate.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, I'm sorry. Dale?
That's okay. I'm so confused now because at one minute I heard somebody say something about, well, it's a lot for long-term. Well, it wouldn't be long-term if what I heard next was that it's month to month. And if it's month to month, my mind is telling me that at the end of the month, if you're not happy, you don't have to accept it. So why would the word temporary even be brought up if it's month to month? You've got me all confused here. And normally, the first thing I came up to say was that I'm the first person to say you never go with the first person. You get bids. But if we've had this company for a long time and we haven't had any problems with them, this isn't the time. Normally, I would say you're right. If we could get somebody else that's as good as what we have for less money, I would say go for it. In fact, I would tell you to call the company we have and say to them, listen, we really want to stay with you. Is there any way you can lower it a little bit? If not, we've had you for 11 years. If you can't cut us a break after 11 years, we may go somewhere else. But the way everything is going today, everything is going up. There's nobody giving breaks. It's just everything is going up. They got to pay their employees more and everything else. So to ask that right now, I think it would kind of be a waste of time, but I don't know. As far as getting bids, I say scratch getting bids. We should have somebody, a committee or whatever, I would even volunteer for this, God help me, to go to some of the other communities around, find out who they have for their landscaping, how long have they had them, what do they pay, and are they happy with them? Why would we have to put it out there to have other companies come and tell us all this stuff when we could just go to another community and check with them, like I did with the fence on Jasmine?
Thank you, Dale.
Well, you're
Well,
right, Dale, you're right. And what I would say is you really can't go by other communities because different sizes, different types of things. If it doesn't cost you anything to have a person or two come in and say, well, yeah, this is what we'll charge you, whether it's right or wrong, good or bad, at least you have something to go by. Then okay.
Point of order. We move on, we voted on this.
Okay,
We voted.
yeah, we already voted on that. Okay, yeah. We did take the vote.
We did take a vote.
You did. You just gave me the.
It was all in favor. I didn't see Dale, so she came up after the vote. It was all in favor. There was no. Okay. Sorry for the confusion. Art committee.
Good morning. Russ
Morning,
Wright.
Russ.
We met on Wednesday morning. We reviewed 13 and approved. No, we approved, 13. We did not approve one, and we had 2 for board review.
Okay,
The one that we didn't approve, I will show you. Another one here.
Fallen Leaf.
Brad.
Not approved.
I thought some shed wasn't approved. No sheds in.
8 by 8 by 8.
We have this one here. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just the color. Over the door, it should match the trim. It's up to you guys if you want to move the color. It's just an architecture thing.
You're talking about.
Just so everybody here knows what Russ is showing us, it's like what would you call a natural wood finish or stained wood finish over the top of their driveway door.
Oh, the,
And it's Russ's
And that's-
belief that it should be
Well.
the same as the trim
The
color.
committee's belief.
Committee, okay, no, it's correct in that.
Okay, and that's, the construction of that, whatever it is, pergola, is that what they call it? Is that normally, I've never seen it on any other houses around.
Neither have I, but-
There's
It's an
nothing,
eyesore.
it fits within, the guidelines,
Okay.
so it should be trim color, what you're saying.
Gotta be with the body of the house.
Trim color. And this one here, this is the shed. They're just not allowing senior.
Hey, Russ.
I thought they were allowed up against the house only a certain size.
Not where this is. No sheds.
There is something that's allowed along with it, you put your garbage cans and stuff,
Has to be attached to the house.
3 foot.
Order. I'm very nosy, so could people use the mics?
Yeah, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Talk about paint or a pergola or a shed. Stay at the,
Go back to the mic, Russ.
I heard 3 different
They have- Russ, they have copies of all of them.
We do.
We have a packet of these.
Yes.
All
I
right,
have 3.
They'd like you to.
all right, all right. I surrender.
Russ,
Yes.
what about the one that has the steps? Is that allowed?
That's this one right here.
Is that permitted?
We looked at that and we think he's created another hazard instead of correcting. If you look what he wants, he has a steep, very steep driveway. And he wants to put in pavers with fine rock around it and some rocks. And we feel that, or the committee felt that with heavy rain, these little pebbles are gonna wash down and cover the walks he's putting up and are gonna make them slippery. We think it's a safety hazard. Of course, we're not in the safety business, but I just think you ought to try to protect the guy.
So he's not using this as extended parking?
No.
Okay, thank you.
A walkway.
Mr. President, just to keep this moving, I make a motion, we approve the 13 that the committee approved.
Okay, do we have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
President, I make a motion that the one with the shed, the committee recommends against approval, that we disapprove.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, what about the pergola one? You want to do that one?
Mr. President,
Yes?
I make a motion that we approve it as long as it is painted the trim color.
We have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Uh,
Okay, the last one,
On this one, I talked to John about this on Wednesday. John called the gentleman, so I'm not sure what the gentleman said on the other end.
please.
I'm not sure what the gentleman said on the other end. You want to tell him, John, what he said?
So I've talked to this gentleman a couple of times and he originally submitted and I asked him to submit with more information to allow the committee to fully review. Originally so his driveway's on an incline and he needs help climbing that incline. So the plan all along has been to put steps on the side of the driveway. Originally he was talking about perhaps like a wooden step down walkway and then, or concrete or pavers, et cetera. It was kind of open-ended. So I said, don't submit your request until you've determined what you want to build that out of. So I think Some of those options were cost prohibitive for him. So this is an inexpensive way for, and an affordable way for him to put steps on the side of his driveway. So he's basically making steps out of stone.
Pavers and river rock,
Well, no, that it's smaller than river rock. It's like.
pebbles.
Like a
rocks,
three-quarter,
pebbles.
it's like a three-quarter wash
Yeah.
stone.
Those don't look all that safe to me.
That
It looks
was,
more decorative than
that was the whole point.
helpful.
It doesn't look safe.
The problem we have is, just to touch on what Russ said, is if you deny it, his personal safety isn't necessarily on our criteria to approve or deny.
Well, isn't he using safety as a reason to do it?
Yes. But I wonder if he's been to some of these locations where they put the nice looking rails up for somewhat inexpensive. That they weren't legal at one time, but they are now, and you can put a nice rail up to use yourself to go up and down the walkway.
Why do we, this is the one that's got 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, all those numbers on the photos? I think.
Yep.
Is he asking us to select one, or is he?
No. This is the one he wants right here.
What's the rest of them?
1C, what is and what,
Rick, there's two parts to his request. One is the stepped down walkway on the left of the driveway. Secondly, on the right side of the driveway, there's a drop down. He wants to put pavers along that side to stop the erosion. So it's two parts to the request.
this is what he has, 1A.
This is the current.
Current, yes.
Okay, and so along that left side is where he wants to do these
Yes.
steps, and the step includes two diamond-shaped
Well.
pavers.
Well, that was just a show. He's gonna put those all the way up.
But each step. So this picture is actually this way for a step, right?
That's the way I look at it.
And it's that way, coming down.
No, this way.
That way.
This one.
Otherwise, there's not really steps. It's just a-
1B.
But there's not really steps.
No.
Just he's now got pavers.
That's at the top, that's at the top of the driveway, right?
All the way down.
It will step down. There will be there'll be a rise every 36 inches.
That's for safety purposes?
He can't walk the incline. He needs a stairway.
Otherwise, there'd be these two pavers, which I guess are 16 inches. Sometime it comes in every 36 inches, step down, and then another thing of this diamond shape, looks like two diamond shaped pavers surrounded by rock. I don't know, is it brick on the side or something?
Was the row of brick, is that the step down?
No, that's just a hold a small stone in.
Probably is.
And if you look at the diagrams, imagine this was concrete and it's a concrete sidewalk. It's a 36-inch pad, drops down 6 or 8 inches, another 36-inch pad, drops down 6 or 8 inches.
How, is that going the whole length of the driveway?
Yes.
This way. Yeah. I just question whether it solves this problem or not, but is there any reason, in our rules
That sounds like more
that
of a
deny
trip
this?
hazard.
Is there any reason in the restrictions to deny?
No,
Okay,
but you might want to call 911, have them stand by.
but that's his choice,
That's his
right?
problem.
Yeah.
Okay, We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, Live Oaks. Nope.
Thank you.
Good morning. Just want to give you the quick update. We're still trying to find a caterer for the December 4th open house. If anybody knows of a caterer that's good, and this is for the open house we have. Again, I tried John Mason. He has not called me back. I've called him a couple times. We are planning on having our ice cream social on August 7th. And we'd like to have the Tosca board, as usual, help serve ice cream on that date. We get a coffee clutch going on Monday, June 6th. And we'll be cooking hamburgers and serving chips and potato salad with drinks on Tuesday afternoon from 2 to 4. And there'll be the music on the water on the same date, the 21st. We're only selling 100 hamburgers. So the first 100 hamburgers or cheeseburgers, I'm coming on.
Only allowed one, Jerry. You can't have 10 of them.
If I'm cooking, be careful. And we're also planning on having a cookout for the July 3rd. And we have our friendship dance on July 23rd. Thank you.
Jerry,
Yes.
Fox Catering, you wouldn't be disappointed. Fox, F-O-X, Fox Catering, you wouldn't be disappointed.
All right.
If you can't find him, let me know and I'll give
All
you his
right.
number.
Jerry, I don't want to say you can't count on the board, but we don't have the beginning of August board meeting. I, for one, will be out of town. You might want to find out, instead of getting 8, you're down to 7. And if you really count, you may be down to 3 or 4 helpers or something.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there. It would be nice.
I think we've done that in the past.
Right. It has been done in the past. If you're not here, you're not here. It's just more ice cream for me. Well, that's all I care about.
No, this is not the eating of the ice cream, Jerry. This is the dipping. Anyway, you might want to do a survey and find out how much help you're really.
Well, that's why I'm starting now to ask. But I appreciate it.
Larry?
Yes, I'm gonna ask Jerry if he would be kind enough to look into having lactose intolerant ice cream for us people who can't eat regular ice
As long as it doesn't shortchange me, yeah.
cream. Good. Thank you.
Okay. And I have another report on that ad hoc committee.
Property committee report?
Yeah, the property committee.
Okay, let's go right to that.
The committee met for the first time on Wednesday, June 1st. And they selected, of all people, Jerry Beers as chairperson, Donna Moser as the secretary. And that meeting, we just set some ground rules down, what we're going to start looking at and what we're going to dig into first. And that's about it. And then we're definitely will be meeting one Wednesday a month, but we plan to put other meetings in there. But we'll be meeting on the 3rd Wednesday after the board meeting every month, but it doesn't mean we're not going to have other meetings, but we do have those done.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you. Fines and suspension.
You hear me?
Yes.
Can everybody else hear me? This is fines and suspension for the hearings held for violations that were approved on the 5/3 Board of Directors meeting. We had 2 maintenance issues. One was not approved and one was approved because corrections were made. Second hearing was held on 6/2/22 for violations approved at the 5/18/22 board meeting. This was the civil behavior violation, suspension stayed in force. We enforced the suspension that was part of that violation. Hearings will be held on 6/28 for the violations approved at the 5/18 board meeting. Liz, question?
Hang on. We have a meeting for the pool violation from last board meeting. Was that meeting set up? It may not be on your
It's,
list here.
are you saying that there was a hearing set up? I'm looking at
We had
the,
an incident at the pool
that's
last.
what I just said, civil behavior violation. It was this, you have it, you got it? Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Elizabeth. Dale?
Now Thompson, Hachita Drive. I'm just wondering, how can we give fines and violations to people that, I'm gonna use myself as, for instance, my sprinkler is not working and the guy that's, well, a couple of people were supposed to come out and didn't. Now, the other guy said it could take 3 weeks for him to be able to get there. And we've had that problem with the leak by the pool that's been going in the door, and now the door's gotta be locked and boarded up and all that other kind of stuff. If we can't get the stuff fixed that we need around here, why don't we not fine homeowners when they can't get something fixed right away on time? Because it seems to me like a lot of things that I hear around here, we're having a hard time getting people to take care of and fix. So it ought to just be taken into consideration.
Thank you, Dale. Okay, any other committee reports? Okay, unfinished business. Oh, you have a committee report?
I don't have a committee report, but you went from our committee to committee reports, and underneath our committee is inspection criteria.
That was the property committee that Jerry
Okay,
talked about.
thank you.
Okay, unfinished business, the bulk communications contract. John, you want to address this?
So I believe it was our last meeting, Ed, the board decided to proceed with a town hall type meeting with Blue Stream. That's been scheduled. We have the notice posted. There's actually 2 meetings scheduled. We have flyers. Debbie has flyers if anybody wants a copy of the flyer. We have 2 meetings scheduled, both on June 9th. The first one at 11 o'clock in the morning and the second one at 6 o'clock. It's going to also be, both of those meetings will also be live streamed via Zoom, I believe. So we have the link if you want to do that remotely as well. They're just going to explain their product. I think there's going to be some, right, what's the right word? Some, I want to say live action, but they're bringing a video where you can be hands-on and experience what their product is here in the auditorium.
Good.
And I, you know, probably to restate the obvious, but they're pursuing the bulk communications contract that's been previously proposed to Timber Oaks, and we're trying to gauge homeowner support if it's worthwhile.
And just for everyone's information, this is the company that you can opt out of this, but we need at least 60% to sign up. Otherwise, we won't go through with this process. Are there any questions about that? I can't, if you would address at the mic, because I can't hear you.
She wanted to know if the condos are included.
No. They have their own contracts.
Okay, my comment would be that yeah, I myself personally can't answer until I find out what it's gonna cost and actually go to the meeting without knowing the answers to other questions. It's kind of hard to say. If it all sounds good, there are a lot of people in here that are happy with what they have and they just don't want to change no matter what. There's others that would definitely try it depending on whether, if you don't like it after 3 months, are you gonna have to keep it for 5 years? Or, there's questions like that that have to be answered. If it all sounds good, I don't think you should have a problem getting 60%.
Well, the point of this is, most of those questions will be answered at the town hall meeting. But the point is to save money. So that's why it's being offered. And that's why we pursued
Ellie Malilly.
going to Blue Stream.
Yeah.
So, yes, Ellie?
Well, why isn't Spectrum also doing what is it, Frontier? What is the name of the new company?
Blue Stream.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what Spectrum had to offer, but you're just cutting them out even though we received that one document. So should they not be given the privilege to also present theirs verbally from other people? Because I personally get very good service from Spectrum. I have no problem with Spectrum, actually. So I was just wondering, isn't that showing partiality? We're only going to get it from one person. And what Larry says, where's the other people involved so you can compare it?
Well, I think, Ellie, the reason that Blue Stream is on there first, because they offer an opt-out. All, Spectrum would not offer an opt-out, and that Spectrum's included all the condos, and they all have their own plan that they didn't want to change. So that's why we haven't pursued the Spectrum, because everybody that came to every meeting objected
Yeah, because they
quite
said
loudly.
it had to be all or nothing at all. So it's still at that point in time, all or nothing at all. So if we don't like this other group that comes in, then what happens? We just go back to
You stay with what you have.
it was what you have. And so you're allowing the condos to opt out, and does that include Spanish Gate, or Spanish Gate considered the family units and whatnot? So yeah, it's a big decision to make a switch like this. Yeah. Okay, that answers my question.
Just a quick question, Russ Rogers. If you sign up with Blue and you get 65% that wants to go with it, and then 6 months after into the contract, you go to 55%, who picks up that 5% to the 60?
I think, and that's a question to present at the meeting. But I think right now, the way I understand it is we would get stuck with it.
You mean Timber Oaks?
Right. So that's one thing we don't want.
Right.
Rick?
Yeah, it's my understanding, and I think I'm right, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, and I don't mind being corrected, is that this is a survey, this is a presentation to people to find out, to let you know what they have by them, and they're then, I don't know, they're gonna try to do the survey part of it then or not, but they're gonna survey and see what we have, because if we're not there, if we're not even have enough interest in it, there's no sense going for it, because as Ed had said, the president has said here, there is a penalty to us, Timber Oaks. There's another big benefit, by the way, besides, what you're reading to the customer, but there's a penalty to Timber Oaks if somehow we fall below that 60%. Well, I mean, that's what's proposed now. I mean, they could change that or something, but right now it's 720 people or something like that. If it drops below it, we pay the $50 a month. So, we want to, if somebody comes in at 61% penalty, we may still vote no on it, because, we're nowhere near making a vote. We're nowhere near approving this. But we need to find out if there is an interest, and I think Blue Stream, got the right name, Blue Stream is also wants to know, because they don't want to jump into this without it. But this is not the decision, this is the provide information to you, so you can then talk back to us and, let us know what's going on, and they find out how much interest there is by an income.
And
Yellow Singer 14116. Rick, you just mentioned that about 720 homes would have to agree to this. And if it fell below the 60%, that Timber Oaks would have to pick up that $50 or whatever a month or whatever it's going to be. We had a previous attorney that said that we could not use our money on other people's property. So basically, that's what you would be doing if you were picking up on somebody else's property.
Well, there's a back door to this where there's a lump sum given to us. And that lump sum, could be argued that more than offsets this. That's something, we're not down the road far enough to really start looking into those details, which have to be before.
if you're interested, please come to one of these meetings and ask your questions. Okay, moving on.
Ed,
Oh, John, I'm sorry.
Ed, just to touch on what Rick was saying, it is a two-part thing. The town hall meetings are to educate and inform the homeowners. There's a survey as well, an internet-based survey. So they want to explain everything. They want to answer everyone's questions. And then they want you to go online and do the survey so that they can gauge the interest. Blue Stream doesn't want to enter into this any more than the board does if there's a question about reaching the 60%. So they want to do the due diligence. They want to make sure that it's feasible for all parties involved. So we would encourage people to come to the town hall meeting. We would encourage people to do the survey.
And that 60% is not 60% of 2,000. It's 60% of the non-condos, not considering the condos. It's 60% of 70, whatever it is. And roughly comes out, if my memory serves me, 720.
It's close to that. And I would also just explain to people, a no vote or a non-participation in a survey does not indicate you are for or against it. You should participate whether you're for or against it in the survey.
Eileen?
You don't want to get too hung up on this percentage at this point. What you want to do is come and see what they would have to offer you as a homeowner. Hey, if I buy into this, what am I going to get out of it? That's what you want to come in and see. What would it cost me? What kind of programming do they have to offer me? What would I get? And that's what it's about. What would you, the homeowner, be able to get out of this? If you want to go along with it, that's what they're going to show you. So come to the meeting and see what it's about.
Okay, can we move on now? All right, the fitness room. We have a survey that was placed in the gym, I believe. John, you want to explain this?
So I believe 2, maybe 3 meetings ago, the subject of the fitness room and improvements or enhancements to the fitness room was discussed. At that time, the board decided to post a survey in the fitness room to get some feedback from the users. That was in there. We feel as though everyone that was going to comment has, and the board now has the results of what those homeowners have submitted. So.
John, what's been fixed in there? What's working?
I think Mark probably knows better than I do, but I think about a week ago, our last repair was made. So I think were, at that time, when he was here for servicing the facility last week, that we were 100% operational.
Is the elliptical was fixed? Okay. What about the treadmills? Are they working now?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. I've read this over yesterday. I just got in here. And I want to investigate some of this. I want to find out, is everybody that gave a comment and things, are they residents? You know, or are they guests? You know, I don't know. And there's some very reliable names here, but there's also, you know, when we look into it, there's just some remarks. We need everything replaced. I mean, that didn't help much. So I am not in a position that I want to make any decision on anything at all on this today. I think it's important. I think we need to look into it and review and analyze the comments.
All right, would you like to make a motion to that?
I make the motion that we table this item.
Okay. All, second? Second from Larry. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, green cards. No, fines and suspensions, new business.
Ed, we don't have any for that, for this meeting.
Okay. Green cards. I think LeMay was going to talk about this.
She had sent an email and said if she could postpone that till the next meeting.
Okay. So we'll postpone that, table that till the next meeting.
Make a motion that we table the green cards?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Correspondence? We have any correspondence? I don't see any here. All right, a motion would be in order for adjournment. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Open forum is now open. Anyone have anything for open forum?
Good morning. Bob Veazey, 11251 Rollingwood Drive. I just wanted the board to understand there was an issue here on Monday this week at the pool, okay, where there were a family that was very, very drunk. They took our belongings that we had down at our chair and threw them. Okay, and in that process, I did get my keys and my cell phone back, but they took my glasses. Okay, and that's a $400 item. Okay, they were not cooperative. They were terrible. Okay, they would not give me their names or anything else like that. They drove they lived in Monterey. They drove a red Candy Apple Club. And they found them on the side of the road in the grass.
Your glasses?
No, the glasses were never found. Glasses were never found. Just to let you know, I did place a police report. Okay, it was recorded. Now I'm changing it back. I'm going to change it to a criminal report is what I'm going to do. Okay, because that's what they say my options are. Because I did come to John and Debbie, and on Tuesday, the day after, and we looked at the video, and it showed them throwing my stuff onto the side, using my towel to clean themselves and everything else like that. Turn around, and they were barely able to stand up. It was terrible, absolutely terrible. This is what we have to bring our family to come down here to enjoy. That's so bad. It
But
shouldn't
you
be.
didn't get a name?
They were not cooperative. Okay, the sheriff's department has their names and everything else like that. Supposedly, the woman that was really drunk who drew the stuff, her name is Lori, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. Her mother and father supposedly live here, and she lives with them. So I just wanted the board to understand what we have here at the pool and what's going on. And that's it.
What time was this?
Approximately 1 p.m. in the afternoon, between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. It was really, it was so bad.
So it was Monday though, when nobody was here, right?
Oh, the place was crowded.
I mean Memorial Day, so.
Yeah, it was more.
John wasn't here.
No. That's why I came down on Tuesday.
John, have these people been identified? This is no different than the kid that, or the young man that.
We don't know who they are, but the video is available for anyone who wants to see it.
We haven't identified this person?
No, the sheriff's department has.
Right.
They have
Maybe we should get the name. This is no different than that other young man, and this guy should be suspended.
I explained to them, I said, I would just want the glasses back. I said, I'll forget about everything, but just bring me the glasses back. That was it. They don't want to know nothing. So I just wanted the board to let you know what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the first I've heard of it, so.
All right, maybe we can schedule into a regular meeting. Discuss it, we're after the meeting, so. It's good this gentleman tells us about this,
Yeah.
and it's good that he called the police. And it's good that he then also told our administration, but we can't do anything right now. It's over. I want to thank you.
Yes, I was at the pool. I didn't see what happened. I did see the parents leaving. I never saw the daughter. I just want to bring up a thing. At the last meeting, I listened to it online, and it was mentioned about the person that threw, I guess, flip-flops and stuff in the pool, has to go through the process of the letter, the 14 days, finding all this stuff. To me, well, according to the state code, anyone whose name is on a deed is a member of the association. Now, if that gentleman's name was not on the deed, he was not really a legal resident. He's just a registered resident. And the same would apply to this person's daughter. I don't think you would have to follow the same procedure of the 14 days and whatever, seeing as how they're not an association member. I think if, this person needs to get a letter and suspended right away. It doesn't fall on parents, it's this person as a registered resident.
Well, they would be a guest, right?
Well, from what I understand, that they live with the parent, but they're still just a registered resident. Unless you can show that they're on the deed, they're not an association member.
Thank you, Ann. Dale?
I find it pretty sad that we're told that when something goes on, we should call the police. I'm totally shocked. I spoke to the man over there. I know what happened. He even has pictures of the mom and dad. They live in Monterey. We know everything about them. Why in the world is it that the board is totally shocked that this even happened? They weren't even notified. This is baffling me. So he called the police. We're not even going to talk to the parents or find out if this person is supposed to legally be here. Are they visiting? Aren't they visiting? Who are the parents? The parents live here. They live in Monterey. Hey, if they can't control this person, go after them. Take their privileges away. Something's got to start being done. This is the second time now in a month. And I hate to say this, and people can get upset or laugh if they want. We got shootings going on all around from these people that are a little mental or drunk or whatever the hell they are. We don't need to wait until this happens here in our parking lot or our pool.
Thank you, Dale.
The homeowners are responsible for their visitors, whether it was a visitor in their home or it was the people that live there, they're responsible.
All right. I thought I had said that I thanked him for calling the police, thanked him for notifying this, and I already said to Ed, we're not in an official meeting here, but we need to put this on look into it, so to put it on the agenda. I think that covers what you covered.
Okay, Rick, I'm gonna ask you something. John doesn't talk to me, and when he does, he lies. Would you ask him for me right now if he was notified about what went on?
I will not tolerate that statements here.
At the last meeting, he pretty much called me a liar. And I don't really care what you think right now. If the people notified the manager and then called the police, and the manager didn't even tell the board, I think that's pretty damn sad.
Jerry?
Didn't they say that the police already knows who the person is?
Yes.
And the police is handling it? Yes. And if anybody wants to know, I'll show them where they live.
But we also, I don't need words, this is not official, but we also have an involvement in that. If we feel there's something going to happen at our pool, we can restrict the privileges of people coming out of that household. Thank you, Ed.
Now, Rick, I'm going to address you. At the last meeting, when LeMay asked John, the manager, about sending me an email, which normally does not go out to anybody. If you look at the top of that copy you've got there, that is the email that I got. And unless somebody else has access to John Atwell's computer, he said he knew nothing about an email. Then how did I get an email?
Any other discussion for open forum? Meeting adjourned, or we're done.